Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I've just crammed my bike into the back of the car because I'm heading off to Trimsaran, a local venue for Beic Cycling Club's hill climb. It's actually going to be tomorrow evening, but I'm going out tonight to testing to see how fast the new whip is up this climb that I've ridden up numerous times over like the last 10 years. Okay, this is going to be part one of a two-part video. I've already decided because there's not much content from this evening. Because there's no GoPro mount on this handlebar obviously, but yeah, so this is a test ride for tomorrow, but I won't be using this bike tomorrow. I'll be using my my training bike because that one has a power meter on. This one, fingers crossed we're gonna have a power meter for it. It's a hard climb, you know, it never ever gets easier, but I think, well, we're gonna upload when I get back to the car now, but like the only thing I've got on my screen is speed. Like my speed was pretty decent, like, or at least it felt fast, and without a power meter I won't actually know, because like the spec of this bike is like way beyond anything I've ever ridden. Like the group set, the handlebars, like the fact, like I've never ridden disc brake, and the fact that there's fully integrated cables, those little watts add up. And I know obviously we're going uphill, but we're going quite quick uphill, I'm doing like 14 mile an hour up that 10% gradient, so there's a little bit of aerodynamic savings. Obviously weight plays the biggest part, gravity, but there is a bit of a saving, and there's also the efficiency saving, and I wonder like what it kind of equates to. So we won't know unless you have a power meter, but I'm going to upload when I get back to the car, and then we'll carry on with the analysis. So this is basically the gear I was in going up the climb. Now it's handy because the climb that we have the hill climb on is just like one continuous gradient, like, well, it's a bit like a ski ramp, like it's steepest at the top. So actually when you're trying to get like every last bit out, it's really nice to like not have anywhere to go on the cassette. I've spoken about this before. I know obviously like the chain line and everything is crap, but you know, ideally we'll have a one-by system, but it just feels like I was seated for most of that climb going as hard as I could go, and yet I felt like I was out of the saddle on my training bike. I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay, I've just uploaded to Strava. So I've taken the KOM off myself, which is the steep section, which is the final part of the climb. It's actually the last 500 meters. This is the last half, basically. I've done 1 minute 41 seconds. Okay, so that test went kind of well. All right, now there's a steep section, which is the last half of the climb. 500 meters at 11.5%. I've taken the KOM off myself only by like a second, but the actual hill climb course that we're going to be doing tomorrow, which is 1.3k at 9%, I did a 3:32, and my personal record is a 3:29, so 3 seconds slower. So that's pretty decent. So we could be on for a course record tomorrow. I gotta be honest, I'm really chuffed with that, because how does the saying go? Can you do it on a cold, rainy Tuesday night in Stoke or something? Like, the fact that I can just pop that out and like without a second's thought, like come 3 seconds off my best ever time. Consistency, that is what you want to aim for. Trimsaran Hill, so tonight feels like almost exact same conditions as last night, which is ace. So I'm obviously on my training bike with power meter. I'm feeling it. If I can help it, I will try and ride to every event that I do, unless it's obviously in another country. So there's my race number. I think it's 15 entries, which is unusually high. We actually never get many people signing up to do hill climbs around here, which is strange given the awesomeness of some of the climbs that we do have. But I've been doing this hill climb for years. Trimsaran, it's a beast to anybody. So I stopped halfway down to give you an idea of what this climb is like. It's just where the road bends and goes through the trees, but it's definitely the steepest section. Like from there up, it's shorter distance wise to the finish, but it's longer time wise, if that makes any sense. So this bit It's quite exposed. You can see the trees. It looks like it's like a slight cross tailwind, so I'll take that. And I remember when I set the KOM, well, I remember when I set course record on you, which is 3:29, we had a slight tailwind. The gaffy.
Why is my Garmin always 8 seconds?
Well, what a disappointment. What a disappointment. I was not expecting that. Certainly wasn't like on the cards. 50 watts down on what, you know, the power I basically did last night. Something's not quite right there. And it just so happens that tomorrow I'm going to be doing just a basic endurance ride and no effort, so I could be over fresh. And yesterday was like a perfect example of being in absolute peak condition. And sometimes you don't understand any of this until you do it, until you come across these hurdles and mishaps. I thought I would have been in perfect condition today, but we obviously made a mistake. And it was actually yesterday. I'm gonna learn from that now. I'm gonna learn from that and apply it to myself and other people, because that's something I didn't expect. But on the plus side, you know, yesterday when we took the new Tifosi out, you know, we could obviously tell that it rides very well, so that's a big plus. I actually got a lot out of last night's effort, so it's not all negatives. It's actually like a good chunk of positives. You know, this is the first hill climb of the year. It's one that doesn't really matter. It's a club hill climb, but also it's one that you know, you get quite anxious for. And last night, obviously, with no people watching and things, and you know, knowing that you're going against the clock, knowing the conditions are good and that you could be on for course record, all of these things, you know, the pressure builds. And you know, I do very well on pressure, but just like most of us, if we haven't tasted it for a long time, it can get to us. So I'm pretty sure I had quite a bit of performance anxiety tonight. So some of it actually comes down to like not wanting to look bad on camera, and that's sometimes the honest bit of it. Like, I try to do my best because I know that people are watching, but I also know you guys are watching. It can be a good thing sometimes and a bad thing other times. But if it wasn't for like the camera or like recording these videos and showing the detail, like Charlie would get a earful. Like, I'd go back now and like I wouldn't stop talking about this for like 2 or 3 hours. But having this outlet, like regardless if you want to hear it or not, like reframes it for me. And I know I've had a terrible ride tonight by my standards, and you know, I will find the positives from it. And I know a lot of people type in the comments like, here's the positives, and like you're 2 months out plus from the British Hill Climb Championships. But still, like as a top performing athlete, you want to be able to do it. Well, you want to be able to do it, but like when the bad days come, it's difficult to see sometimes that those bad days actually happen, like 1 in every like 100. You feel so stupid because like you complain about it, but you realize just how consistent you are. And it's not just me, like it's all of you. Like, we're all really consistent. It's just we always find ways to like make ourselves feel worse. Do you know what, like I still like gave it everything tonight. Yeah, if days like that can come out of nowhere, then it keeps me on my toes, knowing that like today could have been the National Hill Climb Championships, and you know, that would have been devastating. And I have to, it's why like I'm keen to do a little bit of Zwift racing now, because it puts me in that position where I'm in front of you guys again. I'm in front of the camera and I have to perform with, you know, 200 of you watching, which is similar to like how many people will be standing on a hill climb course. So, you know, this video is getting longer and longer, but this is the thing, when I have something on my mind, I have to say it. And it's cliche, but you know, if you're in this situation, or even if, you know, I mean, any of us could be hit by a similar situation, you should never question what you're doing or what you've done. Like, I mean, question it, but you don't throw the plan out the window. Like, there was a reason some of you are on a plan, and you know, just because of one day you feel like, yeah, it's over, like I'm not gonna be there, something is wrong. Like, you just don't question it. You've got to have like, it's cliche, but you've got to have faith in the process. You've got to trust that process. And something I'm actually very good at doing is sticking to the process, trusting the process, and I do it for the process. There's been 1,000,001 times when I've been through the situation. We all have. Sit down, it's times like this where you actually get better, because you sit down, you look at things and you question yourself harshly, and you question yourself well. And I don't just want to keep this video to 8 minutes because that's the monetization, or that's like when people will stop watching your video. I don't give a stuff about that. The video is half an hour, the video is half an hour. Because if I have to get across what I want to say, I'll get across what I want to say, because I believe in bringing you value. And I believe in showing you what it is you really want. And what you really want is to learn. What I really want is to learn. And hopefully we're learning together, because that is part of the big picture. So guys, girls, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy learning with me, because it ain't about the winning, it's about the losing. It's about not getting it bang on and we produce amazing numbers every time, because that would be, that would be boring, wouldn't it? Then I would just be some crazy who does 8 watts per kilo, 8.5 watts per kilo for 3 minutes, and you never ever see him at his lowest. Just be thankful and be grateful, because we're gonna come back from it. We are. Let's get it!